Okay, hey Foundations class. So this is part two of the part two, video number 2 of the texture project introduction. I wanted to make one point with this India ink experimentation slash value scale that you'll have to do in your sketchbook. When you're experimenting, say you put, let me get my other brush. Say you put too much water. Look, say you put too much water with the India ink on the paper. That may happen. One way to fix that problem, get a paper towel and have that handy. Use the paper towel to dry your brush, and then use the brush to pull the ink and water off the paper, and then blot it on the paper and then pull it off. And that way, if you make it too dark or you have too much water, you can pull it off with the brush. That works better in comparison just to blotting it with the paper towel, because you can see it leaves a kind of weird texture when you do it with the paper towel. So I just wanted to make that point. So step 2, after you do your experimentation with your India ink, you're going to use a little bit of matte medium to experiment with your tracing paper. So I have my matte medium, which everyone should also have in their little supply kit. And you can do a lot with tracing paper and matte medium. So we know how to use matte medium because we used it with the collage. If you don't have matte medium, you can use a glue stick too. But you can put down a layer of the matte medium, a thin layer, and then apply the tracing paper on top. And you can see it leaves what's called an actual texture, a texture that when translated from your eye, it looks three-dimensional. You can see the little ripples, so that's more actual texture in comparison to a texture that may be invented or implied. So this is more actual texture, and you can do all sorts of things, like you can maybe add a little more matte medium here and make ripples. So you can have like a true assemblage piece where you have pieces coming off the Bristol pad when you transfer your idea to your 18 by 24. And then what's cool about the tracing paper is you can add India ink on top. And the matte medium hasn't dried yet, but for purposes of the demonstration, I'm just adding the India ink on top, and you can experiment with this in your sketchbook. So you're transforming the material of tracing paper into something different, into a new medium. So once you experiment with that, you can sketch out a couple ideas, and it can be the subject of your choice. So you'll find in Blackboard, there's a folder with some examples. One example from a previous semester that a student, his inspiration was ocean life. So he did jellyfish, and he transformed the tracing paper into jellyfish. And I have an example in there too of a piece I did years ago with birds, and I used tracing paper to layer and draw birds on top of. So the subject matter is your choice. So it can be figurative, it can be abstract, but the main point is to transform the tracing paper into a new medium, and while also incorporating India ink. So if you have any questions, email me or text me, and this project will be due on April 20th. So I'm just assigning this right before spring break, but you'll have time once spring break ends to work on it at your own pace. That way you can enjoy your break. So I'm signing off again.